Has the recent election negatively impacted your 13-year-old's personal friendships? Oh boy. Well, let's talk about that today on Tips on Teens. My name is Kent Toussaint. I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist, and I specialize in helping kids, teens, and families to live happier lives. By the way, if you or someone you love could really benefit from talking to a family therapist, please reach out to us at Teen Therapy Center. Our contact information is down below. Now, let's jump into today's parent-submitted question on Tips on Teens. My 13-year-old daughter is very upset about the results of the election, and it's causing some tension between her and one of her best friends. I guess her best friend is kind of apolitical and doesn't understand why my daughter is so upset. I think it's sad that our national politics can even challenge relationships between middle schoolers. Do you have any thoughts on what advice I can give to help her deal with the friction? Thank you for your question. Obviously, the election causes a lot of big feelings for people. I think no matter how the election went, it was going to cause big feelings for half the country. Just depends on which half feels like they win, which half they lose. In this video, I'm not inputting or sharing my political views on this because my political views are irrelevant. I work with clients and families of all political views. So I think even if, the election went a different way, I could have gotten this letter from the other side. And what I would say is, first of all, we can't really trust that her 13-year-old friend is going to really understand, because it's pretty typical for 13-year-olds to not really have a real awareness of what's going on politically. So for them, it's just a bunch of old people running for elections, and it doesn't really make sense. It's not really on their bandwidth right now. But for your daughter, it is. Some 13-year-olds are paying attention, and that's fine too. I think it's really about how we support our kids. How are we demonstrating resiliency? Let's say, in your family, you were very disappointed about the election, which is, you have every right to have that feeling and that belief. Just like if you were excited about the election, you have every right to feel that way too. But I'm assuming in your house, there's a lot of sadness and resentment and anger and fear, which is not uncommon right now. And what I would recommend is, how are you coping with that? How are you demonstrating how you cope with these feelings? If you are, really having a tough time with it, you're demonstrating for a child, that's how you deal with this. I'm not saying you have to just accept it, embrace it, and be happy with the election if you're not happy with it. But how do you demonstrate, again, resiliency? How do you demonstrate hope? How do you demonstrate moving forward? So I think that is really important. We have a strong impact on our kids. Also, how much impact is social media? There's an algorithm that she's on, if she's on social media, that is feeding fear and anger and resentment. We know that the algorithms do that because it keeps you coming back and watching, whether it's YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, whatever that is. So it's really important that you are finding ways to expose your daughter to a more well-rounded source of media and not just what her TikTok is giving her. This is not easy. If this is something that's really important to you and your family, find a way to get involved. Find a way to volunteer. Get involved in some political way, whether that's protest, whether it's volunteering. There's a lot of different ways. A letter writing campaign to your local legislature, Congress, the president, whoever you want to do. How do we help your daughter find that she feels has more agency and more voice? And I think that's what we want to focus on, because it sounds like your daughter is feeling helpless. She's upset. Her friend doesn't understand because she just wants to hang out and talk about memes. And I think if your daughter had more of a sense of agency, perhaps she wouldn't be leaning on her friend to understand and support her. Anyways, that's her question for today. It's a big topic. It can go a lot of different directions. If you'd like to talk more about this, feel free to give us a call. Again, our contact information for Teen Therapy Center is down below. Again, my name is Kent Toussaint with Teen Therapy Center and the nonprofit 501c3 organization, Child and Teen Counseling. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next Wednesday at noon, Facebook Live. Bye-bye.